Imagine a creature that seems to be designed by pure contradiction. It has one of just the weirdest beaks in all of nature.
It's almost impractical looking.
Totally. But then you see its feathers, and it's this incredibly glamorous, vibrant, almost shocking shade of rose pink.
A color that feels like it belongs on a tropical flower and not a swamp bird.
Exactly. So let's dive into this. The Roseate Spoonbill. It's this tropical wading bird whose whole existence, its whole appearance, is a masterclass in specialized evolution.
It really is. And to understand it, you have to know where it fits. We're talking about the species Platalia ajaja.
Platalia ajaja.
Right. And that name places it in the ibis family. So scientifically, it's a cousin to another really famous pink bird, the scarlet ibis.
But this one is special to our part of the world. You find other spoonbills elsewhere, but not this one.
That's the key thing. This is the only species of spoonbill you'll find in the Western Hemisphere. It lives exclusively in the tropical wetlands of the Americas and the Caribbean.
And that proximity, that color, it causes a lot of confusion, right?
Especially for tourists.
Oh, absolutely. People see that flash of pink in a place like the Everglades, and their first thought is always flamingo.
So let's start right there. If you're out in the wetlands and you see that color, what are the immediate, definitive tells that separate the spoonbill from a flamingo?
It really comes down to the body plan, the architecture of the bird. The color might be similar, but the shape is all wrong for a flamingo.
How so?
Well, a spoonbill is pretty big. It stands about 70 centimeters tall, but it's stockier. A flamingo has that incredibly long, sort of serpentine neck.
Almost impossibly long.
Right, and the spoonbill's neck is much shorter. Its legs are long, perfect for wading, but the proportions are just different.
And then, of course, there's the feature that gives it its name. The one thing a flamingo definitely does not have.
Precisely. The bill is the absolute giveaway. A flamingo's beak is this bent, hooked thing it uses upside down to filter feed.
But the spoonbill. It has that long, flat, spoon-shaped bill. It looks like a paddle. And it's designed for a completely different way of life.
Okay, and this is where it gets really fascinating for me. The color itself. That intense rose pink, it doesn't look real. It can't just be genetics. Where does that come from?
It's a perfect example of you are what you eat. The color is 100% derived from its diet.
From the food?
From the food. Specifically, the spoonbill ingests a red pigment called canthaxanthin.
Canthaxanthin.
Yep. And that pigment is found in its main food sources, certain kinds of algae, shrimp, and other crustaceans it finds in the wetlands.
So a dull-looking spoonbill is a spoonbill that isn't eating well.
That's it, exactly. You can literally see its health in its feathers. The brighter the pink, the healthier the bird. And crucially, the more attractive it is as a potential mate.
I love that. So it's not just for looks, it's a living, breathing report card on the health of the bird and the entire wetland ecosystem it depends on.
Absolutely. They are literally eating their way to glamour.
So they're perfectly built to wade into the water for those crustaceans.
Yeah.
But that beak, that flat spoon-shaped bill, it just doesn't look like it could catch anything. It's not sharp, it's not pointy. How does it actually work as a hunting tool?
Well, the key is that it's an instrument of touch, not sight. They aren't looking for their prey, they're feeling for it.
So how does that work?
The spoonbill will put its head down, often with its bill completely submerged, and just sweep it from side to side in the water.
Like a metal detector, but for food.
Very good analogy. But it's more active than that. There's a bit of genius in the design.
Go on.
That sweeping motion, combined with the way the bird moves through the water, actually creates these small whirlpools, these little vortexes right in front of it.
Oh, wait. So it's manipulating the water.
Yes, it's using hydrodynamics.
Yeah.
And these little whirlpools help trap and disorient tiny prey insects, shrimp, and push them directly into the path of that wide, very sensitive bill.
So as soon as it feels that little vibration, that contact,
it snaps shut instantly. And that's lunch. It allows them to catch all sorts of tiny fish and insects that bigger wading birds might just ignore. They've found their niche.
that is just incredible. So they're these super efficient hunters. What about their social lives? Are they loners or...
Oh, they're the social butterflies of the wetlands. Very, very social. You'll see them flying together in these long, slow lines.
And they gather in big groups.
Huge groups. They migrate to nesting grounds and form these massive, bustling colonies with hundreds, sometimes thousands, of other spoonbills.
And they're not exclusive either. I've heard they mingle.
They do. They're known to hang out and feed alongside other waders, herons, egrets, ibises. It seems to be a very cosmopolitan social scene.
So with all that socializing, what about their family life? Do they mate for life?
They practice something called serial monogamy.
Serial monogamy. So they're loyal, but just for a season.
That's right. They form a very strong pair bond for one breeding season, work together to raise the chicks, and then, they'll likely find a new partner the following year.
And where do they set up shop?
They build their nests together in trees or bushes, usually over water to be safe from predators. The female lays up to 4 eggs, and they hatch in about 3 weeks.
And here's another surprising detail. The chicks. They don't start out pink, do they?
Not at all. It really shows you how much work goes into that color. A newly hatched chick is mostly white, maybe with a tiny hint of pink.
Wow.
It takes them a couple of years of eating the right diet, of constantly ingesting that canthaxanthin to get that full, glorious adult plumage.
So their entire youth is basically a quest for color, a continuous dietary investment just to become the bird they're supposed to be.
It is. Their whole future, their reproductive success, depends on the quality of their meals year after year.
That already sounds tough. But let's talk about the more immediate dangers. You mentioned they build nests to avoid predators, but what are they up against in the wetlands?
The list is pretty daunting. I mean, for the adult birds, being that bright and visible, you're a target. Apex predators. Alligators are a huge threat. But also pumas, jaguars. If you're wading in their territory, you have to be careful.
And what about the nests? Even if they're high up?
Still not entirely safe. The eggs and the chicks are at constant risk from clever predators like raccoons and coyotes, and even from the air, from hawks.
So survival is a constant battle. But the single worst threat they ever faced, it came from us because of how beautiful they are.
Yeah, the 1800s. It was a horrific time for them. The feather trade.
For fashion.
For fashion. The Roseate Spoonbill was hunted almost to complete extinction. People just had to have those beautiful pink feathers.
For hats. For women's hats in London and New York. It wasn't for food, it was pure decoration.
Exactly. And that demand led to this massive indiscriminate slaughter across their entire range. The population just collapsed. It's really the reason we have the conservation laws that protect them today.
So hunting them now is, thankfully, illegal. They're protected. But humans are still the main threat, just in a different way.
It's a much quieter threat now. It's the slow destruction of their home.
Habitat loss.
Habitat loss, yes, and water pollution. These birds are completely dependent on clean, healthy wetlands. So when we drain those wetlands for development, or when they get contaminated with pollution from farms or industry,
it destroys their food source.
It destroys their food source. And this comes right back to that pigment we were talking about.
The canthaxanthin.
Right. If the water is polluted, the algae dies. The crustaceans die. The birds can't find the specific food they need.
And if they can't find the food,
they can't stay healthy. They can't get that vibrant pink color that signals they're a good mate. And their numbers start to fall. So really, the entire future of the Roseate Spoonbill is tied to keeping our wetlands clean.
The survival of the color is the survival of the species. It's all connected. Okay, so let's just pull this all together. The Roseate Spoonbill is this incredible example of adaptation. Its pink color isn't just beautiful, it's health. It's a living billboard for its health and the health of its entire ecosystem.
That's a great way to put it.
And its weird-looking beak is not a flaw. It's this highly specialized tool that actually uses the physics of water to trap food.
A precision instrument.
And finally, even though we stop hunting them, their whole existence, the future of this bizarre, beautiful bird, depends completely on us protecting the delicate balance of the tropical wetlands.
And if we just expand on that a little, the story of this bird really teaches us something fundamental. It shows that the aesthetic wonder of the natural world, its beauty, is directly linked to environmental health.
The color is data.
The color is data. The sight of a brilliantly pink spoonbill is solid proof that a wetland system is healthy and functioning exactly as it should be. It's a perfect indicator species.
Which leaves you with a pretty important question, doesn't it? If the color of this one bird is such a clear signal about its environment, what other silent warnings are we missing from the other strange and beautiful creatures all around us? Something to think about the next time you see a flash of that impossible pink.